Hey guys, Coach Micheal, Burt here. Welcome to another episode of Monster Producer. And we believe a monster producer is a legendary creature that combines multiple skill sets to dominate a market. We believe that so strongly we've created a very elite coaching program called Monster Producer. We've got about 40 individuals that are doing massive production, and on this show we want to go inside their mind and their hearts, and we want to see what the special sauce is. So today we've got Dan Elam of the Elam real estate team, one of our clients, one of our monsters, and really a person that I've admired for a long time. Even before we started doing business with each other, you and I would meet for breakfast and pick each other's brains and go for hours. So Dan, welcome to Monster Producer.
Thank you, Micheal. I appreciate the opportunity, and you're right. You and I have known each other for a long time. It took you a lot of closing to get me involved.
Yes, it did. But we practice what we preach, right?
But you were persistent and consistent, and here we are.
Well, I believe money only changes hands when problems are solved. And we've got a special skill set. You've got a special skill set. So we're going to dive into some great questions. Lots of people are interested in how our monsters became monsters. So who is Dan Elam, and where did your sales career start?
That's a good question, Micheal. I'm a guy of faith, first and foremost. But didn't start that way, but nevertheless, it is there now. I'm a rural guy. I'm a guy from a small town. And I learned a long time ago that sales was a key to acquire some things I didn't have. Okay?
Good.
So as a teenager, I got involved with the multi-level marketing. 15, 16-year-old kid. And, that showed me I could generate income there. But, specifically regarding the real estate side of things, my first piece of real estate was bought when I was a teenager. And you talk about an eye-opening start to the real estate industry. I had a partner, and we bought 7 mobile homes, AKA trailers, in a mobile home park, AKA trailer park. And in a rural area, in a rural community, no city water, no city sewer, and try collecting rent when there's no water.
Yeah.
We had a well that served all those, so it was an event. It was an event in my life, though, that kind of shaped the start in the real estate industry. So that's kind of how my career began. And then you just kind of fast forward through the years, and in the early 90s, decided to start selling real estate for other folks.
Okay.
Got licensed, and then here we are 22, 3, 4 years later, and still doing that.
Did somebody come along that you felt like was a mentor, coach, that really shaped? Because we're going to get to some of your special sauce in just a few minutes, which is how you articulate, how you wordsmith, how you negotiate, how you educate. Did somebody come along and plant that seed in your life, or is it just through the school of hard knocks and learning? Is that where it came?
That's exactly where it came from. Unfortunately, there wasn't a core person. It was just figuring it out. I said this a long time ago. You can put a square peg in a round hole. It just takes a lot of energy.
Yeah.
It's a lot of effort. And what I figured out through the years is there's a better way of doing things. But no, I think, like I said, I stumbled onto sales, and I figured out a young man that didn't have a lot of opportunities at that time. Sales was a tool. And I just figured out how to use that tool to get some things. I had to do some things I wasn't doing to get some things that I didn't have.
That's right.
And so it was really just something that I learned on my own. Now, that would certainly be something, if I could go back, I would change. But we may talk about that later.
But I like the concept of selling is a means to obtain something that you don't have. And so many people have a negative view of selling for some reason. I'm not a salesperson. I don't want to be. But you are really a professional salesperson, in my opinion. And so you're kind of operating at a whole nother level than just a salesperson. You go out and generate leads, you work them through a pipeline, you educate them, you close them. So what is your philosophy on buying and selling real estate?
Well, you speak to something there pretty good. I believe whatever you're going to do, you need to do it. You need to give it your all. I am not a guy about being lukewarm about anything. Average to me is broke. And in the world of selling, that's not what's, and that can relate to anything other than money. It doesn't have to be about money. It can be about your relationship with your wife. You got to give her your all. Your relationship with your kids. And again, my faith, you got to spend time with God. Philosophy about selling. You got to be passionate. Man, you got to be, like I said, you got to be all in. And so when I think about buying and selling, you got to find your special sauce. And that's kind of like, I like cooking a little bit. Okay? So if I'm cooking ribs or whatever it might be, it takes a while to figure out the best ingredients to make those ribs good. And so the same thing is applicable in whatever your career is. So I believe whatever the profession that you choose, and as you've indicated, I've chose sales. I do look at it as a profession. I don't look at it any differently than if you choose to be a physician, you choose to be an attorney, you choose to be a CPA, whatever it is, I'm no different.
Right.
And I'm as elevated as any of those other people are. And I'm blessed in a way because I do business with a lot of those people, and I'm like, wow, my profession in many instances generates more income than those professions do.
That's right.
So that's a problem when people look at the sales profession, is they don't look at it where it needs to be. It's up here.
Right.
Salespeople make more money than any other industry out there.
That's
There's
right.
not any other industry that generates the income that you can generate in the sales world. So, that I do look at being a salesperson as a professional, and you need to constantly be improving your craft.
And that really shows through in how you attack your week, your days, where a lot of people, maybe sometimes sales gets a negative because people, for lack of a better term, half-ass it. They don't prepare, they don't plan. And so you've become known, and in my opinion, of coaching you and coaching lots of people in the real estate profession, as a great wordsmith. Okay? And what I mean by that is you can really articulate value. I think that carries over into how you negotiate. I think you do a better job of educating people. And so when we come back after the break, I want you to speak to, where does a person become that articulate? Because I'll be real honest with you, there's only 2 real estate agents I've ever worked with in the world that are as good at articulating real estate as you are. You're one of them, and Les Walden in South Carolina is the other one. And we're actually bringing him to work with your team in the next couple of months, and I think you two are going to just hit it off. And I'm afraid to put you two in a room because you may never come out.
It'll be good. It'll be good. I'm excited.
But when we come back from the break, we're talking to Dan Elam. He owns Elam Real Estate Team, which is a brand new team in Rutherford County. He's one of the top agents, not just in the South, but in the entire country. And we're talking about special sauce. We're going to figure out where that negotiating skill comes from, where his articulation comes from, and how can he really make these deals work when other people can't do it. You're watching Monster Producer. I'm Coach Micheal Burt. Hey guys, what is that I hear? Oh, what is it? Oh yeah, it's the Pacific Ocean calling. That's exactly right. Cabo San Lucas, Mexico is calling for my Monster Producer Summit, September 18th through the 21st. Cabo San Lucas. I'm going to be talking about monster sales, monster exposure, monster closes. I'm going to teach you how to be a legendary creature that combines multiple skill sets to dominate a market. The Hyatt Ziva all-inclusive hotel. We're going to go down there for 3 or 4 days and have a blast. If you want to fly with the group from Tennessee or from wherever you're flying in the world, contact us, info@coachburt.com. We'll sign you up to go with the group, get the group rate. You get hotel, you get drinks, you get airfare. You get 2 days with the super coach and other like-minded creatures. Or if you want to just fly down for the conference Saturday and Sunday, Cabo San Lucas, Hyatt Ziva, you get Coach Burt, bunch of monsters, and we have the Monster Producer Summit, September 18th through the 21st. Cabo San Lucas. Oh yeah, that's the ocean calling, baby. I'm going to be getting my monster on in Mexico. Come and go with me. Hey guys, welcome back. Monster Producer, brand new show on the Burt Network. You can go there, burtnetwork.com. We believe that's where people of interest play. And if you want to be a person of interest out there in the world, and I know you do, that's why you're watching this show, come spend time with talent. We believe in spending time with talent, getting better. The aspirational contact, we've got Dan Elam, who is a real estate professional who owns his own real estate firm, Elam Real Estate. He's doing something new. He's doing something exciting. He's got a brand new building coming up. He's got a brand new team that he's working with. He's got operations staff. So he's really going out there. It takes a lot of guts to do that, man. I'm proud of you, and you inspire me. And I love people that inspire other people, okay?
Thank you.
We left off wordsmithing, which in my words, this means you can articulate value. You can negotiate more money on deals. You educate better than most. So a person's out there and they say, man, I'm not very good at that. Not very good at articulating value, negotiating. So give them some counsel and advice on how you've become really world-class at this.
Well, practice. We look at all of these great athletes and we think that they showed up on the field Sunday afternoon and they play great like that. Well, they've worked their entire life to get there.
That's right.
You were a coach, and so when your girls showed up on the court, they didn't show up, and you had a lot of hours vested in them. So I think practice is where it's at. I think having a passion for what you do is huge. And then, like I said earlier, I think having grabbing on the fact that you are a professional salesperson and going deep with that. Now, I also think that if you're going to be good at something, you got to have a process and a system. So, you and I talk about my belief system is you reduce everything to the ridiculous. We taught in school, bring things to the lowest common denominator. Well, I do that in what I do. And so what I teach my team is, if you really want to jump to the next level, well, let me give you a couple of tools to do that. One is, in my belief system, is you've got to have 10 critical conversations every single day. And if you'll have those 10 critical conversations, that'll increase your business 20-25% without doing anything else. You don't have to change anything else. And don't worry about what you say.
Okay.
That's going to come.
Right.
There's 3 things that I teach my people that you need to know to be successful. 1 is your attitude, 2 is your approach, and 3 is action. Attitude we talk about a lot. Approach is your pitch, your presentation. You talk about that a lot, your EOS. And 3 is what I focus on a lot with my team is action. If you do something enough, your attitude's going to get better and your approach is going to get better. So let's reduce it to the ridiculous and say, I need to have 10 critical conversations that push my ball down the field further. And everyone, if you'll do that, I'll show you people over and over and over. If they do that, they're going to go from where they're at to where they want to be. Now, one other thing I'll say with that question you ask is wordsmithing and that type of thing. I believe people miss the boat. They do not identify the problem. Okay? So identify the problem, understand the problem, and overcome it. So it's about having a comprehensive approach to whatever it is you do. You have a very comprehensive approach to what you're doing with this interview today. I walked in and everything is set up. There's a process, interview, talked to, mic'd up. You've done this. And so, I like to take the same approach to, you call it wordsmithing or articulating value. So it doesn't really make a difference if you're dealing with a buyer or seller. Identify the problem, go deep with them. People want to do business with people that they feel are vested with them,
right?
Are in the game, in the boat with them. That's how I do it.
So the 10 people, where do you get these people? Because that's the first thing people say is, who am I supposed to call? Is it anybody? Is it targets on a hit list? Is it people you think you'd like to represent as their agent? Who do you call?
Well, it depends on where you're at in your scale. In other words, if I've got someone brand new walking in the office and they're new to the real estate game, I'm going to talk with them about their sphere. I'm going to talk with them about anybody and everybody they come in contact with. All right. Now, if you're way down the list, then yes, we utilize your system, legacy selling system. We push that down through our team. I believe I had a system similar to that. It just wasn't packaged as well as yours was. And so that's good. Identify people you want to work with. But, at the end of the day, I'm a big believer that most everybody in the marketplace, if they're not now, they will be soon, interested in 4 key areas for me. They're going to have an interest in buying real estate, selling real estate, building real estate, or financing real estate. And that's the 4 areas that we talk about, we focus on. And so, again, most everybody is going to touch that. And so as you go through the sales career, then you're going to hone that down a little bit more. And you may be talking to a little bit different group. But the guy or lady that gets their real estate license today, they need to focus on their sphere. They need to get with their managing broker. They need to be on a team, in my opinion. And they need to get with someone that's way further ahead of the curve, and that person will show them kind of what to do. But that would be the way I would have that conversation.
And you believe networks equals net worth. You
100%.
believe contacts equals contracts.
100%. You are the sum. This is my belief system. You are the sum of the people you hang out with and the information you pump into yourself daily. Okay? So you're going to hear me listen to a lot of podcasts. You're going to hear me personally listen to a lot of faith-based because that's who I am. But then you're going to hear me listen to some your stuff.
Right.
But a lot of other real estate related, not necessarily just real estate, but just positive stuff. You're not going to see me have any negativity. You're not going to be around me very long if you're very negative at all.
Yeah, we really have to still our mind to the negativity. Our positive energy's got to be greater than the negative we're going to face in a day, and we are going to face some negative.
If I'm down, I'm going to go up. If I'm up, I'm going to go down.
That's right.
Does that make sense?
All right, you have the guts. You've had the guts, I'm going to say, to go all in, and I say all in. You left a real estate firm that was under another umbrella. You've started your own real estate company. You went and got your broker license. You're building a team. You're building a building. You're investing money. And so what prompted that? Because there's a lot of people watching this show that at some point in their life has wanted to do their own thing. They've wanted to go out, but that fear has kind of eaten away that drive, and so they just kind of stay where they're at. So talk to about what prompted this, and what are the pros and cons to a person out there who's starting this whole thing?
That's a good question. This all actually happened in my mind many years ago. Okay, I believe you got to see it before you're ever going to live it. And then you have to take it and put it down on paper. And this would have happened years ago, but we had something called the Great Real Estate Depression. So that was that slowed that process down a little bit. And again, that a lot of that comes for me from a faith position. But remember what I said earlier, I don't believe in being lukewarm. So I had this mentality even when I was partnered with other real estate firms. Because what I did was I said, look, I can have that approach within just a team concept as well. So going all in was just a natural progression for me. And I am all in, as you said. New building, massive expenses, new concept, new team, new everything. But if I'm giving advice to someone else, I'm personally going to say, find someone that shares the belief that you believe. I personally believe if you're in the real estate industry, you've got to be associated with mentors, and I believe the team concept is the way to go. You coined this phrase, which I really like. We are a bunch of, Free Agent Nation?
Free Agent Nation.
Free Agent Nation,
Yep.
And that's where all of these people are out there trying to figure all this out on their own with little to no leadership oversight. And that's why the reputation of our industry is challenged sometimes. So if you're a new guy, wherever you're at, partner with someone that is a little further down the street than you are, and then let them constantly increase your altitude, and then get to where you want to be, and whatever all in is for you, all in is for you. For most of my career, all in was that team concept.
Right.
And then God opened up some doors and gave me some incentives, and we opened Elam Real Estate, and we're excited about that.
That's exactly right. Any night you go home deflated, brokenhearted, broken-spirited, question whether this is the right move or not?
Sure. I think everybody does that. I think everybody out there says, should I have done that?
Right.
So, and you just go home, and for me, I go home and pray about it, and tomorrow's a new day.
That's right.
And you start over tomorrow, and the mistakes you learned from yesterday, you don't make tomorrow.
And the ability to sell gives you the ability to go out and generate more income. And so you can, a lot of times you can always sell yourself out of challenges in some scenarios.
You can. And also you're selling yourself into a better mental position.
Yep, that's right.
That's a key there.
First sale,
well.
you got to make every day's to your own
Exactly. And I always say, if you don't like the way things are going in the real estate business, you're talking with your CEO every single morning in the mirror.
Right.
So if you don't like what you're doing, then change it and you're going to get a different outcome. I do subscribe to that theory. The definition of insanity is to continue to do the same thing and expect a different result. So we wanted to scale our business, and the beliefs that we had in place did not necessarily align with some of our previous partners and firms. And so a way that worked better for my wife and I was opening a new company that allowed us to establish a baseline, allowed us to grow our company the way we believe is a better way. And so at the end of the day, we believe we have a better process, a better system, we get a better set of outcomes, and that is statistically proven by generating our sellers more money, getting our buyers the home they want, building homes that meet the real specific needs of our clients, and we offer the best financing to our clients. And at the end of the day, again, I wholeheartedly agree with you. Identify that problem, overcome that problem, and you'll get paid.
That's right. That's when money changes hands. You're watching Monster Producer. I've got Dan Elam, top real estate professional right here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. He's also in our Monster Producer program. When we come back, we're going to ask him to go back in time and give Dan Elam some advice when he was coming up as a young whippersnapper agent. You're watching Monster Producer, and I'm Coach Micheal Burt. All right, welcome back to Monster Producer, brand new show on the Burt Network where we spend time with legendary creatures that combine multiple skill sets to dominate a market. We also have a unique coaching program for all the people out there who are interested in operating this level. These are the kind of people that are in there, and I very seldom tell people, hey, you don't want me to tell you about our coaching program, just pick up the phone and call one of our clients. And they can tell you what the value is to them. And if they say good things about us, that's where our referability comes from. We've got Dan Elam, who is in Monster Producer. He also owns the Elam Real Estate team, and very excited about new things he's got going on. Dan, you coach and mentor new agents.
Yes, sir.
Okay? And in my opinion, this is one of the greatest values you bring to the market, because a new agent out there, and I have seen it over and over, flounders around, tries to figure it out. And in my opinion, if I was in real estate, I would come work under your tutelage to accelerate that curve. Because to me, why flounder around for 3 or 4 years when you can have somebody, as you said, that's down the street just a little bit further? And so speak to how you mentor and coach new agents. What's the biggest roadblock to agents, and how do you help them?
Well, I give them a plan and a process.
Okay.
And you mentioned 2 or 3 or 4 years. I think I can save people 10, 15 years. One of the original people I talked with many years ago was an agent way further down the line. And I asked her, I said, well, how long did it take you to kind of master and get a handle on what you're doing? She said, 15 years. Whoa, okay, 15 years. So I can greatly shorten that curve. And I believe in I believe in a process, in a system. And I'll say that my specific way of getting from A to B may not necessarily be your exact way, but it should be similar. Okay, we all have the same goal in mind. You may take a little bit different path, but I'm going to give you the steps to get there. I believe there's 3 things you got to have to be successful. You got to know what to do, you got to know how to do it, and you got to be motivated to do it. A lot of people have 1 or 2 of those, but I haven't found a chair that'll stand on 2 legs.
Right.
3 legs it'll work.
Right.
But 2 not. And so, some of the biggest challenges I see with brand new agents, I see it every single day, is they want to find a shortcut. I don't believe in shortcuts.
Right.
I try to teach my people, instead of giving your client the least you can give them, let's try to find a way to give them more. Let's give them the most. So, don't get me wrong, I love technology, I want efficiencies, I love all that. But new agents, I think it's just the mindset, the technological mindset that we're in, the age that we live in now, instant information, they want a shortcut. And people do business in my world with people who they like and they trust. And I look at everything in that regard on a likability and a trustability scale. And if you shortcut that period of time, they're not going to like you and they're not going to trust you. And ultimately, they're not going to do business with you.
Right.
And so stop trying to find a way to avoid the grind. I use that as a term in my business all the time.
That's good.
You can't avoid the grind. Put your time in, make your 10 great calls, get in front of decision makers, hone your approach, your pitch, and work on closing techniques. And every single week, we're going to spend a quality hour or two in a sales meeting. And that sales meeting is defined down. I mean, it's bullet point after bullet point. And we're talking about close techniques, scripts, dialogues, things that will get you from where you're at to where you want to be. And
I like that. And new agents, obviously there's agents out there that are not getting that. It is a free agent nation. They're at other firms. They're trying to figure it out. They're literally left to figure it out on their own. And you would say, hey, get out there and find a place that I look at it like this, Dan, that will allow your abilities to thrive. Get in an environment with a mentor and a team that will accelerate your talents.
Yeah, this is a big mistake I think people make. I make it in a lot of areas of life, but we're talking specifically in this area. They decided they want to get the real estate license because they heard a friend of theirs was going to, they heard so-and-so made good money or easy money. Hear that a lot. And then so they ended up with a firm just by happen, and I'm like, guys, don't do that. Write down what your belief system is, what's important to you, where you want to be, and then go interview people.
Right.
My firm is going to be a firm that really has a goal to get you from where you're at to where you want to be, with a plan, with a goal, with a set of steps and series. You and I have talked about my 30-day, 60-day, 90-day plan, okay, if it's a new agent. And so a lot of times people get stuck in a rut and people don't know what they don't know. And so maybe you use this video as a wake-up call and say, hey, wait a minute, I'm really not where I want to be with this firm, or I'm not getting the direction, or I'm not getting the assistance, or maybe I'm not getting the leads, or whatever it is. Those are things that I'm building this company on these foundations that have got me from a 16-year-old kid to where I'm at today. And you say I'm a pretty good salesperson.
Right.
So I can teach a lot of people how to do that. So whether it's Elam Real Estate or another brokerage firm in town, go interview some other people. Don't feel like you have to be stuck in this one model. And the same thing with a new agent coming in. You don't have to go to work for the company that was sponsoring your class or that your friend said. Be on your own, write down what's important to you, and then go ask the owner of that firm, what are you going to do for me? How are you going to help me?
Right. How are you going to help me be successful?
Exactly. How are you going to help me? And I have a systematic process that accomplishes that. And most of my people are six-figure income earners.
That's right. And to help people double their income as well.
I can take you just like this and take you, and for most people, I can double your income.
All right, last question. You mentioned the 16-year-old Dan Elam. And you're in your, we know 30s now. Let's go, early 30s. Let's go back. And if you were to give one piece of advice to an early Dan Elam that was coming up through that would have accelerated his career even faster, what would you tell him?
I made a lot of mistakes, still do, but I thought I could do everything on my own.
Okay.
It was a huge, huge mistake. So one of the things, and I won't limit it to one, but get coaches involved. Okay, now I have coaches in all areas of my life. Spiritual coaches, health coaches, business coaches. So I'm a big, big believer that you need to have coaches involved, and they help you gain altitude everywhere you go. But again, in the real estate industry, I'm going to tell people, read more. And if you're a younger agent, and not necessarily a younger agent, because I can tell you this, I've had people ask me this question, if team concepts were around back when I began selling real estate, there's a very good likelihood I'd still be on a team.
Right.
Okay? Yeah. But look at that team model, because that's going to get you from where you're at to where you want to be, and that's going to shorten that curve hugely.
Yep.
So coaches, read good stuff, put a lot of positive stuff into yourself. Take the word no off the table. Failure is not an option for me. If you eliminate failure and you eliminate all those negative words, don't use can't and no. Get those totally out of your vocabulary. Don't have to use them ever. And so if I went back to Dan at 16 years old, that would be some of the advice. Add coaches, read a lot, and then associate yourself, in the real estate industry. Find yourself a team or a firm that believes more in what you believe.
I love it. I love it. Guys, that's Dan Elam, monster producer, good friend of ours and one of our clients. But I love spending time with talent, and I'm very selective about who we have on this specific show. It's called Monster Producer for a reason. So you've got to achieve some level of production that really stands out from the crowd. Dan has done that in his real estate career with Elam Real Estate Team now. If you're out there and you really want to take your deal to the next level, I encourage you to check out this guy and check out letting him buy. Go through your thing. If you're interested in
if you're interested in buying it, selling, building it, and financing.
I love it.
Call me.
All right, guys. I'm Coach Micheal Burt. Another episode of Monster Producer in the books. As always, thank you. We believe everybody needs a good coach in life, and we appreciate you letting us be yours.